This is a slice of a tree that fell in 2023. And we're going to study dendrochronology using this tree slice. So dendrochronology, as you might know, is the counting of tree rings, and not just counting them, but measuring their width. And by looking at the tree rings, which many trees add one ring per year, you can tell the age of the tree. And second of all, measuring the width of the rings gives you some idea of the environmental conditions, because many trees will grow bigger rings in better years. Maybe that means warmer temperatures, maybe it means more rainfall. So we're going to take a look at this tree slice, and we're going to measure the tree rings. Just a quick tutorial about what constitutes 1 year's growth. So you can see alternating light and dark rings. And this dark ring that goes from here to here would be the early growth of the year, spring, early summer. And this last little bit would be kind of the finishing growth period of late summer and fall. So one ring would go from this location to this location. If you're in an online section of the class, then we're going to provide you a photograph, and the photograph will have the ruler as part of the photograph, and then you'll just match it over to the rings. It's super helpful to just mark a ring once you have measured it. So for this ring, I'll mark right there, and I'll mark right there, and then when I go to the next one, I'll know how to make the next measurement and not duplicate or overlook certain rings. You record all this data in your spreadsheet so that you can download data about climate from human observations and match those up. See where climate has affected tree ring growth. All right, so you have downloaded this spreadsheet from Blackboard, and you'll notice I've got in there a space for the year, which you don't know quite yet, the width, your first measurement, the width of the rings, your second measurement, any notes, the average width, and the precipitation that we're going to look up online. You don't know which year to begin with, because until you count the rings, you don't know how many you've got. But I already prepared the spreadsheet because I did this in advance. And so your spreadsheet will go from really 2022. As I mentioned, that tree fell, was cut actually, in 2024, but apparently it died the year before in 2023. And the last ring won't be fully formed. So the fully formed ring, the last fully formed one will be 2022. So you count all the rings, make all the measurements, and I've done this in advance, so I know how many years back we need to go. And we need to go about to 1950. All right, now I've got the instruction sheet for our assignment. And you'll see that in order to get the climate data for the years that the tree was alive, I gotta click this website, and I gotta set the following parameters for it. So here I am at the National Centers for Environmental Information Climate at a Glance Divisional Time Series. I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna select from here precipitation. I'm gonna select a 3-month time period. I'm gonna select the ending month of August. I'm going to select the starting year, and I know my data only goes back to 1950, but I'll just pick 1 year before it just to be safe. I'm going to let it go to the current year. I'm going to pick my state as West Virginia, and we in Huntington, West Virginia are in the southwestern division of the state. I click the word plot, and I get an output. And you can see the dry years have the lowest points on the graph, and the wet years have the highest points on the graph. I'm going to have you copy that, of course, for your lab notebook. But anyway, right beneath this table, this plot, is a download link. I'm going to click that. All right, I'm opening up my data. You can see it says West Virginia Climate Division, June through August. So it's going to take an average precipitation and of those 3 months. And it's looking at inches, which is fine. And we have this period that it's sort of working with, and we got all the data. So beginning in 1949, you can see it's labeled 1949-08. That means August is the last month. And I've got it all right here. So I'm going to copy and paste it into my spreadsheet that I downloaded from Blackboard. All right, I've got my ring width that I measured. Actually, I measured in inches, but yours will be millimeters, doesn't really matter. And I've got my precipitation, June, July, August. And you'll notice I skipped 1949, I didn't need it. And my data runs down to 2022, the last full ring, and I just ignored the ring for 2023. Once you copy and paste this data, you're going to get this correlation right here.